suppose I should record for the people who are not here today. There we go. All right, I look where the top is equal to 0, where the bottom is, and I plot those on the number line, okay? And I'm going to make a table in order to organize my work. We made number line tests before. We're going to do number line tests again, except it's a little bit more involved. However many numbers you add up here, you have that many columns plus 1. So if I have 3 numbers, I'm going to have 4 columns. So I just make a little box and draw those lines down and see how I now have 4 columns. Everybody okay with those? However many numbers you have up on top, that's how many rows you are going to have. I put these factors on the side. Again, this table is to organize my work. We're now going to test numbers. We don't plug in -3 or 2 or 4. Those will produce simply 0 on the top or bottom. I need to plug in a number to the left of -3. Birthday girl, number to the left of -3. What do you want? -4. What is -4 minus 2? I don't even have to know the value so long as I know that it's positive or negative, right? -4 minus 4? Negative. -4 plus 3? Negative. In this case, it's a negative times a negative divided by a negative. Do I care whether I'm multiplying or dividing negatives? 3 negatives make a negative. Marissa, great limbo person. Give me a number between -3 and dos, which is Spanish for 2. Sure, we'll go with -2. I have preference towards 0, but we'll choose -2. -2 minus 2, negative. -2 minus 4, -2 plus 3, positive. 2 negatives, 1 positive. Olivia, a number between 2 and 4. 3. 3 minus 2, 3 minus 4, and 3 plus 3. 2 positives, 1 negative.
I'm not understanding how you're getting like the negatives and the positives.
On the bottom? Yeah, if you were to multiply a positive and a negative. All right, Sid, give me a number to the right of 5 or 4. Right of 4.
Which is it? 7.
Awesome, 7. 7 minus 2?
5.
7 minus 4. 7 plus 3? 3 positives produce a... Good job. Am I wondering where this is positive or am I wondering where it's negative? Because I'm wondering where it's less than 0. Look, your graph shows you exactly the region. It says it's negative right here, so this way, and it's negative right here, so between those two. So the solution is from -infinity to -3, union with 2 to 4.
2 and 4 are both positive?
No. Has everything to do with this. A positive and a negative multiply to a negative. We are wondering where it is less than 0. So therefore, it is in that region. Notice again, the graph, as we check it out, it said that between 2 and 4 that it is negative. Can't see that very well there. If I change the y values to -2 and +2, you're going to see it dip below a little bit better. But that's the area that we just uncovered. Tough to tell without making a table, isn't it? Okay, you've had practice doing one table. Let's practice doing another, and then you'll be able to start your assignment, and then we'll move on to the more challenging aspects. So this is a step-by-step piece. Here we go. You tell me what numbers would give us 0.
5.
10 over 3. And 0. Good. I plot 4 numbers, so how many columns? 5. Good job. Alrighty. What do I put off on the left-hand side? The factors. Very good. Can somebody tell me a number they'd like to start plugging in?
No, so right. Oh, wait, this is what one?
Sure, a number to the left of -2. A number to the left of -2. -3 times -5, positive. -5 minus 5, -5 plus 2. 3 times -5 minus 10. So a positive and 3 negatives make a... Do we actually care how many positives there are? Do positives affect the sign at all? It's only the negatives that impact the sign, isn't it? See if you complete the table the rest of the way across and answer the question. Go. Yeah.
If I messed up the order of the number line, does that affect my answer?
Yes.
Is it any number to the right?
Okay. So
Or sorry, if we have 4 numbers, where does the fifth column come from?
So, just to be clear, you are not plugging in these numbers. These are to tell you the divisions. You're plugging in numbers here. You're plugging in numbers here, so like -1 would be a number to plug in. Plug in a number here, so you could plug in 1. Plug in a number here, so say 4. Plug in a number here, so say 6. Those are the numbers that you're testing. We already know what will be produced if we plug those in. You get 0 somewhere. Right? Yeah. Okay, folks, eyes up here as we check our result, because this is not the correct result, even if people had that, and I'll show you why. Okay? What? After I show you, you'll understand. Okay? So, don't erase it all. Just trust me, you'll be okay. Okay? So, am I wondering where this is positive, or am I wondering where it's negative? I'm wondering where is this thing greater than 0. So I'm wondering where it's positive. Notice the results, positive here, that's in this grouping, right? So between the values of -2 and 0. And positive within this grouping, from the values of 10/3 to 5. So notice how I put my groupings like that. Why did I choose to use brackets? Because of the equal sign. Everybody on the same page there? Yes.
Oh, so I think I might get it. Might not get it. Pretty much I completely lost my train of thought.
All right, when you catch it, let me know. Now, this is, if this was a problem on the test, you get 3.5 out of 4, and that's because the final answer is just barely off. And here's why. There's one rule of mathematics that's really important. That's you can't divide by what number? Can't divide by 0. What number would produce 0 in the denominator? -2 or 10/3. So therefore, even though it says equals, we can't include -2. We can include 0. We can't include 10/3. We can include 5.
What? How does that work?
Okay, try again. Sid, equal sign. So do I use brackets or parentheses? Brackets. So this is what you want, right? Except you also have to know that you can't divide by 0. -2 would produce 0 in the denominator, so that's why we go to that piece. Can somebody please tell me what's different about letter E? Exactly. So we subtract the 2 over. Because we like to compare things to 0, because positives and negatives are separated by 0. Okay, I want to make this into one fraction. How? Common denominator, so I multiply by 2x plus 3. (4x) minus 4x minus 6 all over 2x plus 3. That's greater than or equal to 0.
Okay, -6 over 2x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 0.
Okay, just because I can sense where we are in terms of time and where we're at, it's going to be very important you trust me on this. Are you ready to trust me?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, is the top ever equal to 0? No, it's not. And so we don't need to worry about putting the top into our table at all, so long as it's positive. Negatives cause the sign to change, don't they? But positives, they don't really matter at all, do they? So what can I do to make the top positive? And if I multiply it through by -1, then I just have to, so 6 over 2x plus 3 is less than or equal to 0. -1 over 1. -1 is a fraction, is -1 over 1. Everybody agreed? So that changes the top, not the bottom.
So you multiply the fraction, you never get the bottom. Only you're multiplying it from the...
Correct. Change one or the other.
Okay.
Okay, so true or false, the top is equal to 0. False. True or false, the bottom could be equal to 0. Yeah, where would the bottom be 0? -3 over 2. So how many numbers am I plotting? Just one number. So how many columns will I have? 2 columns. And since I only have one number plotted, I only need to put one factor out front, and that's 2x plus 3. If we hadn't changed the 6 to positive, we would have had to include the 6 as well, the -6 up there. Okay. Okay, give me a number to the left of -3/2. -2, 2 times -2 is -4, plus 3 is positive. I'm sorry, negative. And then if I plug in 0, 0 plus 3 is positive. So we can see this results in a negative, that results in a positive. Am I wondering where it's negative, or am I wondering where it's positive? We look at our last sign change right here. We're wondering where it's less than 0. Where is it negative? So that would be -infinity to -3/2. It would be a bracket, But can I have a bracket on 0? Nope. So let's see. Whitney's like, yeah, got it.
Pretty much it can't be a whole. Pretty much the number has to be a whole. It's never a bracket.
Again, it could be a bracket, just not in that situation. I'll show you an example here in a second, okay? All right, last one. Again, this is the most difficult lesson of the unit. Once you get past this, you'll be fine the rest of them, trust me. This is your first test. This is truly the first new thing that we've seen so far. So take it in, and we'll figure it out together. X over x plus 1, what should I do first? Excellent. You guys are really smart. Good job. Nope, we subtract 3x. Now what? Common denominators. X plus 1, x plus 1. Way to go, Ella. What do I have in the top now? X. Excellent work. X minus 3x squared minus 3x. She distributed that negative all the way through. Common mistake. People forget that. Over x plus 1. Can I simplify anything? What? Before that? I can combine the x and the negative 3x. So I have negative 3x squared minus 2x over x plus 1 is less than 0. Ella, what can I do now? Should we even take out a negative x? Okay, let's take out a negative x. And I'm left with 3x plus 2 over x plus 1. I'm one of those people, I don't like negatives. So I could get rid of this negative out front, couldn't I? By multiplying through by. If you multiply both sides by negative 1, that will go away. And that will become greater than 0.
One point being 3x. No, 2 points. 3x plus 2 and x plus 1.
What gives me 0 on the top? 0 and? Negative 2/3. What gives us 0 on the bottom? So I plot negative 1, negative 2/3, and 0. So, how many columns? 4, very good. How many rows? It looks like my rows are x. What else? 3x plus 2 and x plus 1. What is a number to the left of negative 1 you'd like to plug in? Negative 2. I plug in negative 2. This is negative. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6 plus 2. That's negative. And negative 2 plus 1 is negative. Very good. So as you multiply 3 negatives, it produces a negative. Uh-oh. Instead of trying to figure out a fraction to plug in, think about a decimal. It's a lot easier that way. Negative 0.75? Sure. I'm going to choose one that I really like. I like negative 0.9. I like negative 0.8. I like negative 0.7. I don't like as much negative 0.71438. See what I'm saying? I like to try to keep it as simple as I can. Okay? So I'm going with negative 0.9. So I start with a negative. What's 3 times negative 0.9? Negative 2.7 plus 2. Negative. Negative 0.9 plus 1. Positive. Hey, look at that. What's a number between negative 2/3 and 0? Negative 0.1. Sure. That'll be a negative. 3 times negative 0.1 is negative 0.3. Plus 2 is negative 0.1 plus 1. positive. So it's negative. Look at 1 and we get positive, positive, positive. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time you'll see the sign switch. Most of the time you'll see the sign switch here. Am I wondering where this is positive or am I wondering where it's negative? Yep, I look at my last result here, I'm looking where it's positive. And so it would be this section right here. It would be this section right here. Do I have to worry about brackets at all?
No.
Why?
Because
Good. Excellent. Good job, you guys. Not an easy lesson. Hats off to you for fighting your way through it. Good job. Don't be surprised when you have a question on one of these. It's easy to make a mistake.